decentralized.
Welcome to Everything Currency, everybody. Today, I got a very special video for you guys. And before we get into the video, shout out to the Telegram subscriber who told me about this project back in March. Shout out to him because that is something that we did talk about. But today on the channel, we got very special guests. We got Matiu from L1x. He's going to tell us all about his project. How are you doing today?
Yeah, good, Jay. No, thank you for having me on. It's funny, you hit about it in March, so that's cool. I have to shout out to that same person that told you about us as well. But no, very good. And yeah, no, it's great to be able to talk about L1x with your community.
Yeah, thank you for showing up. L1x is one of those projects that I was really excited about when I heard about it, because if you guys watch the channel for a while, then you guys know that I don't really like bridges, and I really like things that are trying to solve the issue for the users when it comes to the problems that bridges cause for all of us. So I just want to say before we get into it, thank you for that. We're going to talk about how they're doing that. So first, just you want to introduce yourself to the community here?
Yeah, no, appreciate it. So, I mean, me personally, I've been in the crypto space since 2017. My background is in business management. So I actually ran my own company for some time as well. I'm training multiple different levels of leadership from entry level to C-suite around leadership, management, sales. But I started getting interested in the space around 2017. I think it started as a degen, so I went in with money first and then invested my time later. It's probably a common story. For those listening now, it's the wrong way around. But you know, I think we were talking about this before, Jay. It's our battle scars, our tutorial that we go through to get to this point. That
we say you got to pay your crypto tuition. You got to pay your tuition.
Yeah. With that. Exactly. And so I started off in the DeFi space and consulting around management structure, tokenomics, promotion, all those sort of things. And I really it became a passion of mine. And I connected with the founder of L1x about 2 years ago. And I was hooked when he told me what he was building, what he wanted to do, what he wanted to achieve. I was it. And, I find myself here 2 years later with a pretty revolutionary L1 project, and I'm proud to be part of.
Nice. So how long has L1x been around, and how long have you been with the company?
Yeah, so L1x has actually been in development for 2.5 years. So it was started by our founder, Kevin Coutinho. He's been developing for the last 2 decades, but got into blockchain about 5 or 6 years ago. Started with applications and realized that the L1s he was researching to build on didn't have features that he wanted to incorporate, he found necessary for these applications to have. And so he spent 6 months, and one of our key research partners is the University of Western Australia, and they were critical in the invention of Wi-Fi. So they've got a really rich technology history, and they've got an extremely good blockchain department. So he partnered with them, and they spent 6 months just researching and trying to really deeply understand the problem that they were solving. And out of that, and then I joined. I met with Kevin 2 years ago, and I officially came on board about a year and a half ago. And for all that 6 months of deep analysis was born L1x, which is a layer 1 protocol with a couple of interesting features that make us fairly unique.
Nice. That's good. So it's been around for a while. So let's just go right into it. What is L1x, and let's start with the problem, because I know you guys are solving a big problem, but there's a lot more to it. But let's start off with the problem you guys are solving.
Yeah, absolutely. So what makes L1, because we get this question all the time, why another layer 1? Mm-hmm. So what makes us unique is built directly into the layer 1 is a cross-chain technology that we call Xtalk. Xtalk allows us as a chain to connect to any chain. So EVM, non-EVM, public, private, hybrid. Once we connect to a chain, that chain now has bridgeless interoperability between any other chains that we're connected to. And to kind of give you a bit of an idea, we're already connected to Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Solana, Phantom, Arbitrum, Optimism, Polygon, AVAX, Phantom, We've connected with a major partnership that we've just created called MutliChain, and I can talk a little bit more about that. And we're halfway through the integration of Bitcoin network, and I think the timing will be quite nice. We had that pinned in for Q1, but progress is going really nicely. I think we should have that potentially finished by end of January. So by the time that ETF hopefully drops, we're connected to the Bitcoin network. Now, why is that important, I suppose, for the users and those listening, is that at the moment, blockchains are very much siloed, right? They find it very hard to communicate with each other. And so the first solution to try and solve that was bridges. The issue with bridges is that they're owned by a centralized entity. When you transfer on a bridge, what you're doing is you're giving your assets to the bridge, to the centralized entity, to have to trust them to not only pass those assets through to the destination you've requested, but also keep those assets secure. Now, that might, and for those that are not in the know, bridges are highly susceptible to hacks. And just so you know, last year in 2022, $2 billion worth of hacks just came from bridges. And that is a major issue to solve, because ultimately, if we're going to get this mass adoption in crypto or blockchain, safety is one of the areas we have to eliminate. I mean, risk is one of the areas we have to eliminate. And if 30 to 40%, actually, I think it's 40% of hacks, all hacks come from bridges. If we can take that, remove that problem out of the equation and solve that issue, then I think that goes a long way to helping people navigate cross-chain without the risk.
Yeah, definitely. We talk about that all the time. We've covered some of the bridge hacks on the channel, and it's devastating to the entire market because that much liquidity being stolen is just bad, and also it makes everybody else look bad. Like, oh, there's a lot of crime there, and it's not good for the entire space. So how does Layer1x solve the issue, or what is XTalk, and how is that different from some of the other solutions out there?
That's a really good question. So how does it work, right? So what we do is our system is trustless because we have our own consensus mechanism. And in terms of decentralization, so you've got Bitcoin, which is proof of work. You've got Ethereum, which is proof of stake. We are a hybrid of proof of stake. So we have proof of stake, but we also enable mobile devices to validate transactions. So when it comes to decentralization, we're not a layer one looking to have hundreds or even thousands of validators. We're looking to have tens of thousands to millions of validators as we continue to evolve, to decentralize the system and also take away that central point of failure or attack. And so what we do with what happens with a transaction cross-chain is that the transaction is initiated on the source chain. So let's say I want to do a transaction. I want to swap native BNB for native Ethereum, and you want to do it on ours. Now, you can do that swap through us. So what you would do is you would then go ahead and request the swap from native BNB to native Ethereum. In the background, what's happening is the BNB is going into a BNB pool of liquidity. Let's say it's $100. $100 of BNB goes into the BNB pool, and then an event is sent through our virtual machine. Now, we built this virtual machine from the ground up. It's not a fork, it's purely our virtual machine. And so when it goes through that virtual machine, it updates the payload to be compatible with the destination, wherever that destination is we're connected to. So the event then gets sent across to the destination, and $100 of ETH is pulled out of the ETH pool and given to the wallet that's been designated, whether you've sent it to your own wallet or you've sent it to someone else's wallet. Now, that's all in one click. If I was to try and do some of these swaps cross-chain now without that technology, sometimes I've got to send that asset onto a centralized exchange, swap it over, then bring it back into the blockchain network. That's multiple steps. That's multiple clicks. Or I've got to trust a bridge potentially, if the bridge can handle that transaction, to do it for me. Now, the issue when you're trusting a bridge, because a lot of the work is done by a virtual machine, is that a bridge is interacting with 4 smart contracts at least, both sides. Now, every time you interact with a smart contract, it slows down the process, and it also increases the gas. Because we do the work in the middle, our cross-chain only interacts with one smart contract. So not only are we a trustless system, which is safer, we're faster and we're cheaper. than the bridges out there. So it takes. So layer 0 is basically an infrastructure for bridges. Stargate is their most popular one, and it's probably has the largest share of the bridge volume.
Mm-hmm.
What takes Stargate 5 minutes takes us 19 seconds. What costs Stargate from, say, Optimism to Ethereum at the moment, it's crazy, right? What costs Stargate $30 costs us $8, and it happens in an instant. And so not only are we trying to deliver safety, we're also trying to reduce cost and increase the speed to really enhance the user experience.
Nice. So that's actually huge. Being able to custody your own assets and not have to trust the bridge. That's definitely huge. So where would somebody go? So say you said I can take Solana, that's native Solana, and then trade it for native Ethereum. So where would somebody do that? How does that work?
Yeah, so let me share. So we're currently so I'll give you kind of an idea of where we're at in our time frame. So we've released our Genesis block back in 31st of August. So now we're in a mainnet beta phase up until the end of January. So now we've released the swap feature, and we're building that swap feature out. By the time we get to, and we're integrating the chains into the swap feature, by the time we get to the mainnet at the end of January, we'll have all the chains that I've just mentioned. We'll have, and Solana's I think the last one for us to implement into to the swap feature, which will be in January, and potentially Bitcoin. If we've got the Bitcoin network connected as well, we'll have Bitcoin there as well by full mainnet. But if I can show you, I'll just share my screen here if possible to kind of show you what I'm talking about. If we go here, now what you see in front of you is the L1x app. So this is actually the interface to the technology. If I go on to the swap here, this is the cross-chain swap. So at this point in time in mainnet beta, we're building up liquidity for the cross-chain swap. What we're doing is we've got single staking pools, but the L1 Dex that's building on top of us, that's actually going to have a deep liquidity pool, a balancer pool of all the tokens that are incorporated in the chains that we're connected to. So all the native tokens plus USDT, USDC. So what you would do is you would go ahead and you would select, say, I want to transfer from Binance, and then let's say I want to swap with native AVAX. So you can do that swap and send on our system. You can select USDT, you can select USDC. It's not loading up because I haven't connected my wallet to this.
Okay.
But these are the options currently that you can do to make that swap. And so on these systems here, Polygon, and as we add more chains, by the time we get to mainnet beta, you'll be able to do all the swaps through this widget. Now, something of interest as well is that we'll be connecting. 1 second, I'll just jump off this. We'll also be connecting a Dex Aggregator.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means is that once we connect the Dex Aggregator to the cross-chain swaps, a Dex Aggregator will go and source the best swap on that particular chain for that particular pair. It will then use the cross-chain to go cross-chain and then source the token that you're wanting to swap it to on the other chain. So what that means for the user is any token swap to any token swap on any chain we're connected to. Rather than not just the main ones, any token swap that the Dex aggregators can pick up. So now you can swap it. You will, well, not now, but you will be, once we integrate the Dex aggregator by mainnet, you will be able to swap an obscure token on AVAX with an obscure token on, say, Arbitrum, because of the Dex aggregation and the cross-chain swap, all in one place.
Nice. So the Dex aggregator will be able to find me the best price out of all the chains, and there could be, potential arbitrage opportunities and things like that, correct?
Correct, yeah. And so we're working, so we're not even, that's where our Dex aggregator partners as well. So we're not even needing to provide the liquidity for the Dex aggregation. There's plenty of Dex aggregator partners we're talking to connect up to our cross-chain technology. And so once we do that, it could be a 1-inch, it could be multiple different Dex aggregators that will be able to go source the best opportunity for that swap, and then connect with our cross-chain, and then connect with the Dex aggregator on the other side to create this any token swap to any token swap situation.
Nice. So I know I said I wanted to keep it a little bit less technical, but there are some technical people who watch the channel. So I wanted you to talk more about being able to swap and keep the same logic. I know this is something that has been a problem for something as simple as, like, let's just say a token has a tax built into their smart contract, and when you try to cross it to another, when you try to bridge it, it creates somewhat of a problem.
Yeah, yes. And so that's where the swap, let's say you've got the Dex Aggregator swap, and we've got liquidity pool. So let's say it's a Dex aggregation swap or an obscure token on Binance Smart Chain.
Mm-hmm.
So what will happen is we've got not we do, but the L1 Dex building on us will have the BNB pool. So the first swap will be from that token to BNB, and then that will enter our pool. And then from that pool, once it's swapped into BNB, then it will be sent cross-chain. Mm-hmm. So the tax is handled by the Dex aggregator at first, swapping into the native token, which will then go into our pool and then go cross-chain. What we're looking to do, this will be on the roadmap, how we're looking into this, is to evolve to a place where that both those swaps from say the obscure token to BNB and then cross-chain can happen in one swap, like a batched swap, which will also reduce the cost even more of that swap going from one side to another.
Nice. So I think the greatest part about this is for the front-end user, you won't even know what's happening, right?
Exactly. You just pick a token here, pick a token there, whether that you want to send it to the same address or a friend's address, you'll be able to do that with any token and then just make that swap.
Nice. And so this technology, I know you have the layer 1 wallet. Will this be something that, let's just say, Trust Wallet wanted to get on board? Is it something that other wallets can integrate?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because the L1x app at the moment already is, because when we built a virtual machine, we actually built the virtual machine to be EVM and non-EVM compatible. Mm-hmm. So it's already compatible with MetaMask. So when you go into the L1x app, which is basically the interface to the ecosystem where you'll have all these options within the ecosystem, cross-chain swaps, we're building out digital identity within their NFT marketplaces. You'll be able to access solutions across multiple chains because of our technology. But what will happen is you can already connect MetaMask. We're actually, as you mentioned, Jay, we've got our own X wallet, which we'll be releasing and integrating into the app as well. The X wallet will mean that you can hold assets from any of the chains we're connected to in one wallet. So rather than having your Ethereum stuff on MetaMask and your Solana on Phantom wallet, you can combine them all up. But that said, more and more wallets we can integrate into that system. So you might want to connect a Trust wallet, a MetaMask wallet, a Phantom wallet, or your X wallet. So as we continue to evolve, we'll give them a wider range of wallets you can connect in there and then interact in that in the app.
Oh, nice. That's good. So you said mainnet, you guys are looking to shoot for the end of January?
Yes. Yeah. So yep.
No, sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, and so we're almost there. We're building. So what's been happening over mainnet beta? We're making partnerships. We're building out the L1x app ecosystem. We're creating. So we're building out features in gaming, NFTs, DeFi, digital identity, all these spaces during mainnet beta. And so when mainnet launches, there is a really good product in the L1x app V1 version that users from multiple different interests can start to interact on the app.
Okay, nice. I see that you keep mentioning the digital identity, which is something that I'm very keen on. I know that digital identity is a very big problem for all of crypto right now. Can you go into some of Layer 1x's digital identity?
Yeah. So and I think this one here was probably the biggest game changer, and what underpins everything that I talk about is the interoperability, the ability to connect chains. Mm-hmm. So we just had a Spaces on a X channel where we invited the most recent partnership that we've made with OMChain, and so what OMChain is they are a provider to the Turkish government for a digital identity solution. So and this is how we kind of see the future of blockchain is we don't think that there's going to be one chain that will win, right? That will end up being everyone's on one chain. Because it just doesn't make sense, because whether it's a private enterprise or whether it's a government entity or whether it's public chain, some of these private enterprises or governments will want to build their own chain and control it in a way. So what we see is that the importance of interoperability is really a connected world of blockchains. And so with on-chain, what they're doing is their specific use case is digital identity. And so what it allows for them to partner with us, what it allows for on-chain is they already have 4 million users of the digital identity solution that they're building into that exists in Turkey. And that will grow now because the expansion plan, that'll grow to 15 million users in 2024. And there's ultimately 85 million citizens of Turkey. What's interesting about Turkey is 52% of the population have either owned crypto or already own crypto. And so they're quite
it's a high number.
Savvy, crypto savvy country, right? And so the benefit for us is that on-chain, by offering a single service, they want to expand the services offered to their users across multiple different blockchains. So if their users want to get into DeFi, gaming, if they want to get into NFTs, how are they going to do that? Well, they're going to connect to us. And so with our partnership, we connect up to them. And now the data, because we're compatible, the data is compatible with our chain. In fact, any chain we're connecting to, the data is compatible, and your identity on layer 1x is compatible. So now you can move within chains on the same identity. So you don't have to swap identity going from an EVM to a non-EVM. Any chain we're connected to, you have a single identity. So what we're building in is, because all this data aggregation, how do we give that ownership back to the individual? How do we give control to the individual and take out the centralized entities that are either manipulating, controlling, or monetizing your data without your authority? And so within our system, we're building a digital identity where you can have your own username. And with that username, it unlocks these features that we've actually we've developed. It will allow you to pull in your Web2 data from Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all these Web2 solutions onto the blockchain and encrypt it under your ownership. No one else will be able to see that data, only you. And so, and also your Web3 activity. So it will become, as it evolves, probably the richest source of data in the world on you, and you will own it. Now, once you own that data, what we've built in is the ability for you to be able to share that data, like approve access to data, certain customized data points. So let's say you and I want to have a conversation, and I want to share certain data with you. I can do that in terms of sharing access to certain data points that I want you to see. It could be anything. Could be my email address, or could be whatever that is. And only you will be able to see that because I've given you access. Now, I can also revoke that access from you. And so once I've shared it with you, I'm going to revoke your access to my data. Beyond that, what we've also built in is the ability to verify data without revealing it. So let's say you would want to verify where I live. I can verify that I live here without revealing anything else about my address or anything. I can verify that I'm over 18, for example, without revealing my date of birth. So that's quite powerful, because now the verification of ownership of something without revealing the data is just a extremely powerful layer of protection and privacy that it gives back to the individual. And beyond that, because it will be one of the richest data sources, and if not the richest data source of you in the world, and you own it, is that why don't we give you the opportunity to monetize? Because the top 5 businesses in the world making revenue off your data are currently drawing in $750 billion a year off your data. Trillions of dollars are being made from other people monetizing your data. And so what we want to create is an environment where advertisers and businesses can advertise directly to you, where you will earn the lion's share of your revenue. Because why not? It's your data. And so how that would work as we evolve that out is that they might, let's say I've got an ideal customer, and I've got some certain data points that make up my ideal customer. So as an advertiser, I would select those data points. I would then push out my ad to anyone that had those data points. Now, you might be in that subset. And so you might receive a request for someone to advertise to you. This company would wish to advertise to you. Now, you could just reject it. No, thank you. Don't want to see it. But if you accept it, then the money that they've paid for that advertisement, the lion's share of that goes to you. And why should it not? And so wherever we can, we're trying to take out the central entity that is controlling your data, your finance, your experience, your content, and all these different things. And I think ultimately what Bitcoin did for currency, Layer 1x will do for data in terms of decentralization and peer-to-peer sharing.
Nice. That's definitely something that we talk about a lot, is removing the middleman is actually very valuable for the users. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so big on crypto in general. So you mentioned like NFTs in there.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about, cause you guys, I'm sorry, but like Layer 1x, they got it all covered. They really do have it all covered. So let's talk about the NFTs a little bit.
Yeah, and look, we're talking a lot of projects that want to tap into their technology. The only reason why we can talk about all these different features, well, not the only reason, but the underlying technology is the ability for us to connect to MutliChain.
Yeah.
And create a world where the user, and ultimately, look, yes, we're a layer one, but ultimately we're not naive, right? We know that the user doesn't actually care what chain they're on. They have a need and they want the best solution delivered to them, whether it's our chain or another chain. How can I get that solution as easily and safely as possible delivered to me? And I don't care what chain it's on. And ultimately, you won't even know what chain it's on in the future. Like, it's not going to be a thing. And so with NFTs, and this is quite interesting. So there's a couple of problems we wish to solve in the NFT space. One is access to liquidity. And so with our technology, we're developing, we're working with a partner to develop an NFT marketplace, which will allow you to, to be able, because in the X wallet, you can see all your NFTs across any chain we're connected to. So you can have a gallery of NFTs on display from multiple different chains. However, you can pull in to this marketplace an NFT that you wish to sell. Now, this marketplace will allow you to sell it in that marketplace, but it will also give you options to sell it in multiple marketplaces at the same time. So imagine an NFT marketplace where you can put that NFT for sale in that marketplace and select OpenSea, Magic Eden, Rarible, Blur, and have that NFT go on sale on those marketplaces all at the same time. Because the smart contract logic, talking to smart contracts cross-chain and interacting can enable that. And so now it's for sale across multiple different marketplaces, across multiple different chains. Once it's sold, the smart contract logic talk to each other, burns the other or removes the other NFTs and hands over ownership to the new purchaser. So now we're opening up the potential market for that NFT across multiple different chains exponentially.
Nice. I like that because we've had some issues with NFTs too, where people were they try to do a cross-chain swap on an NFT and they actually burned their NFT on one chain in order to send it across the bridge, and that actually kind of ruined the value of the NFT.
Now here's something really interesting as well, which solves that problem, and this is also for the gaming space. So ultimately, with this technology, what we see happening is we're connecting users to all applications and applications for all users. And this is one example of how we do that. So let's say you're a game on Polygon and you want to tap into a user base outside of Polygon. You want to issue some gaming NFTs across Binance, across Arbitrum, across Solana, across Ethereum. Now, you go ahead and you do that. You expand your user base outside to these chains. You issue these NFTs on, let's say, on Binance Smart Chain, but your game's on Polygon. So what the smart contract logic allows us to do is that a user entering that game on Polygon that holds that NFT on Binance, the smart contract logic can verify the ownership of that NFT on Binance. As the player enters the game, now the player can use that NFT in the game without actually moving that NFT cross-chain. The verification cross-chain happens, and now, yes, I've approved the ownership of that NFT. You enter the game, and whether that's a tool, a weapon, or whatever that is, now you've unlocked the access to be able to use that on a Polygon game, even though the NFT is sitting on Binance.
Wow, that's pretty big. That's pretty nice, because I think that's going to be an issue and something that I talk about a lot. You don't want to have assets on one chain and try to send them to another chain. They can easily get lost. And that'll be an issue in gaming too. So that's great. What are some of the other things that you're excited for coming up? I know Mainnet's probably the most exciting. I know working for 2 years and then finally having the product launch is big. But what else do you see being exciting for you down the timeline?
Well, one of the big things we're doing is So when you combine interoperability with data ownership, it really is a powerful combination for the future of blockchain. In fact, for the future of individuals utilizing blockchain technology, whether they know it or not. And so what I'm excited about is what we're actually building, that L1x app will actually become, and this is on the roadmap for the middle of next year, is our own web browser. And so you will be able to build websites directly on the blockchain. You will be able to pull up the L1x web browser and not Google, and be able to interact with blockchain through the L1x interface with multiple different solutions on multiple different chains in a completely decentralized environment. And I think that is a massive step to true decentralization, where the data is decentralized, encrypted, secure. Blockchain is powering the web browser, and in a decentralized environment, where I think that's really a shift, a real shift in terms of the use of blockchain. Because now, if you build a decentralized website where data is owned by the individual, and companies that are building web pages on that, if I interact with that company, I can get that company to verify itself, verify to me that you are who you are before I interact with you. And the individuals that want to interact with me, verify yourself before you interact with me. Shared, if I want to, if I have to verify certain data about myself, I can verify but not reveal. I see a truly, and look, we probably only see 10% of the potential. Yeah. Because we're only a small subset of minds, right? But I see a world where safety, privacy, but also accessibility in a way where it's you have just a more curated experience, because you have a much more control over your experience within that web browser. And I can see a metaverse company jumping on that experience, because at the moment I don't see a layer 1 or a layer 2 where I'm entering that ecosystem, where I know that there's no front door to Ethereum, and whether there should be or there shouldn't be, who knows? But there's no. So I think this gives a clear front door to blockchain as we connect more chains. So I know I'm entering the ecosystem. I know that ecosystem is predicted and secured by blockchain, and I can interact in various ways. I think that's a real paradigm shift in the experience of blockchain for the user in a way, and for projects and businesses.
Yeah, that's actually pretty nice. That's huge. Especially for metaverses, and something that you said that I kind of want to just highlight, the ability to verify but not reveal is, that's kind of the main identity problem with the Web3 right now, right? Like, you want to be able to do stuff that a social security number allows you to do, but there's no way you want to put that in the Web3 space. Like, so.
Exactly. Exactly. So if you can say, yes, I have a social security number, and it's verified that I have it, but I don't need to reveal it. Like even KYC, right? If you can, if you're the owner of your KYC, of your driver's license, your passport in an encrypted environment, and all I have to verify is that I have one from this jurisdiction without having to take a photo of me holding up my driver's license with a sign saying, whatever it is, someone else owns that data, verify, not reveal. And so now you truly is that ownership. But now when you're interacting with businesses, entities, projects that require KYC, I'm going to keep that info. You can still verify me, but I'm not going to share it with.
Nice. That's nice. So another thing that I want to highlight. So if you're a chain and you connect to layer 1, you also are able to connect to all the other chains within that network.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, because I think the evolution of interoperability started with bridges, and then we moved into like a Polkadot and a Cosmos solution. Yeah, and so I would say I like this analogy where let's say everyone listening to this is in the same room, and we all speak a different language. No one speaks the same language, and it's probably very similar to the landscape of blockchains today, where we want to talk, but we don't understand each other. And so bridges were those solutions, highly susceptible to hacks, risky. They take custody. Polkadot and Cosmos came onto the scene, and what their solution was is Cosmos was IBC, where if you implement IBC into your chain, then you can talk to everyone else with IBC. Polkadot was parachain. So you become a parachain, you can talk to everyone else who is a parachain and have that true interoperability. What their solution is saying is that everyone in this room speaks a different language. And this is kind of the analogy. If we all learn Chinese, then we can understand each other. So everyone adapt to the standard, and now we can talk to each other. I don't think that's realistic. You know, I really don't think that every chain will do that. So what we provide is that we come into the room and we say, everyone, maintain your native language. But what we're going to do is we're going to drop this system in here called Xtalk in the middle of the room, and it will translate any language in the room so everyone can understand it. It's a universal translate. So you don't have to change anything. But what we want to do is create a translator so everyone can understand each other. And now messages, data, assets can move amongst each other without any sort of borders.
That's nice. That's actually a good, perfect analogy, actually. I always use the analogy like, you know, right now, crypto is divided with like Samsung and Apple, and we can't even text each other. So we need something in the middle to translate that and to allow us to text each other. That's what's going on in blockchain right now. So anything else that you're excited for coming down the line?
Yeah. Well, I think I think the Bitcoin integration will be extremely interesting because of the smart contract logic cross chain. What it allows you to collateralize your Bitcoin and use it as collateral to borrow on another chain without moving your Bitcoin off that chain. So, and we all know if you've got Bitcoin, the less you have to do with it, the safer you feel, right? You know, because no one wants to lose their Bitcoin. And so what this will allow, it will allow other applications on other chains to verify the ownership of the Bitcoin for the user and the value without that user having to, you know, move across chain and create a wrapped version of it, for example. So the verification, so they can keep that collateral on Bitcoin, create a smart contract agreement where, you know, whether there's a liquidation point or whatever that be, the smart contract agreement is there, but it's still, Bitcoin is still sitting there. And so now I can start to use my collateral, my Bitcoin collateral on multiple different applications across multiple different chains and add a use case to Bitcoin without moving it off chain, off the Bitcoin network.
Nice. That's actually big. And that would be nice too for, you know, BRC20s and all the innovation happening on the Bitcoin side. It actually helps to connect that to, you know, the EVMs and the Solanas, and, you know, it's good.
Exactly. And what else is coming is we're building out our own Oracle system as well, where you will be able to, source, Web2, pricing data, whatever that is, whatever that data is. So that Oracle system there, the way we're building it makes it highly cost effective at the moment. Probably one of the opportunities within the Oracle space is the reduction of cost when you're sourcing these prices. So that's coming next year as well, our own Oracle system. I think you can probably see what we're doing here is with the interoperability, our own Oracle system, and with the data there, the data ownership is we're building in these fundamental this fundamental infrastructure for the user and applications to really kind of navigate in a safe, efficient, environment where multiple blockchains seem like they're one.
Yeah, kind of, you know, picking up the pieces of what was left behind, and a lot of stuff has band-aids on it in the blockchain space. So I feel like, you know, you guys are solving a lot of those with layer one. So thank you for coming.
So we won't solve everything, right? We're not going to solve everything, and nor should we, right? But the thing is, if there is a great use case and solution on another chain that we feel that the users need to access, we'll just connect to it.
Yeah.
And now we don't have to build it. Our ecosystem is not just determined on what we're building internally. Our ecosystem is determined on all the chains we're connected to. So I think that's pretty cool, where we don't have to be the creators and the builders of everything. All we have to do is see that opportunity and connect to it for the users.
Yeah, that's actually huge. I always talk about that too. I'm like, man, if certain guys just kind of teamed up or even just had a quick conversation about some of the stuff they know, share a little bit of data. Like, it will be huge. So I like that idea of being able to just have everybody kind of plug in, and also being a universal translator, so that everyone could communicate in a way that makes it, easier for us users to enjoy blockchain. Because it's, especially when it comes to blockchain education, it gets cumbersome, and then people start to ask you like, well, why do I have to do this? Why do I have to? You got to explain the problem. So there's a lot of solutions that is being provided with the technology.
Yeah, definitely. And collaboration is the key. And ultimately, and we've said this since the start, we're not here to compete, we're here to unite for the benefit of the user and for the benefit of the builder. So, if we can, connect users to all applications and applications to all users in a way where it seems like everyone's on the same chain, but obviously it's a collection of chains, then, we're willing to collaborate with anyone who sees the same vision.
Nice. So thank you for coming on the channel, talking to us about Layer 1x. Is there anything else you want to leave us with before we close out the video?
Yeah, 100%. So this is the time where I get to shill.
Yeah, so let's get into the shilling.
Yeah, so jump on the app. And Jay will have I'm sure you have the link in the description of the app. Jump on that, start playing around. We are mainly made of Facebook feedback. It is really important. But even now, you'll see, even over the next, say, 7 weeks until we to get the main there, you'll see heaps and plenty of features that are be kind of evolving and being released onto the app that you can kind of play around with. The cool thing is that we've also now released an airdrop. So just started, we've only just announced that. So it's a bounty airdrop. So it's basically, the bigger the airdrop is determined by your interactions across the app. So once again, use Jay's link, jump on the app. Now, to get involved and to be eligible for the airdrop, you've got to have a username. And so basically, what does that username give you? The username will give you also a L1x App NFT. We're decentralizing the ownership of the app. So by purchasing a username, you also get an L1x App NFT. And the NFT allows you governance within the app, but also a share of all the activity fees that are generated on the app. The username will allow you, that will unlock the ability to pull in data, control that data, the access of that data. And eventually it will be transitioned into a domain name. So where ENS probably limits itself to Ethereum, because of that compatibility, that domain name will be compatible across any chain that we're connected to. So it's a really valuable tool, I suppose, an asset, that username. Beyond that, though, there's an opportunity to earn a username. And we just released something on our blog page in terms of, you can earn a username rather than purchase a username. But once you have a username, the first kind of reward is that there'll be 2 winners. So we're running this airdrop for about 6 months because we have so many features that are coming on that we wanted people to get involved with all of them over that time. But we'll have an announcement at Mainnet where one winner of a random draw of a username, one winner will win 500,000 L1x coins. In June, the second winner will win 500,000 L1x coins on the second draw. Now, at the public sale price, which is open now, there's 250,000. That's on the public sale pre-launch, right? So but once you get into the airdrop, we've got 20 million coins allocated to the airdrop across weekly treasure hunts, which will start in January, and also the major kind of airdrop at the end of that participation period of 6 months. So get involved in that. Any more information you need, we'll be transitioning our website onto the app, so all the information will be there, but the website is L1x.Foundation. But for the app, I'm sure the link's in the description to jump on that app. And so there's 2 parts of the L1x. There's the technology and the protocol and the interface. The username and NFT gives you ownership of the interface. To get ownership over the protocol, that's the L1x coin. So we've got a public sale running now that will finish at Mainnet, right? At the end of January, the description will be here. The link will be in the description. To be part of that public sale, we've only got 50 days left. So that will finish in 50 days. To grab some L1x coin, jump on the link. The L1x coin, what everyone's like, the big question is, what drives the value of the coin? Where's the value behind this coin? And what's going to keep that buying pressure on the coin? something very unique about L1x Coin is when you normally look at a layer one, the main utility is the gas or proof of stake or staking for what's securing the system.
Yeah.
We have all that. So we've got, you can stake the coin, use it as gas. But what makes the utility exponential is that because we're connected to all these chains, L1x Coin, then at the moment you've got to have BNB to transact on Binance Smart Chain.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to have Ethereum to transact on Ethereum. You've got to have Sol to transact on Sol. The L1x Coin will be the universal gas fee where when you're transacting on the app on any of these chains, that's the only coin you'll need. And so when you look at the potential of that, just in 2022, $14 billion of gas transactions out of the 8 chains we're currently connected to. So that's only going to grow with connect chains. That takes the utility of that coin exponential beyond any other layer one, because now you can use it across multiple chains. The currency within the L1x app, the main currency, there are multiple currencies there when you're interacting with projects, but the main currency within the app is going to be the L1x Coin. The launchpad that we're launching, there is no launchpad token. To get involved in a launchpad, you're going to have L1x Coin and opt into our expert program.
Mm-hmm.
So there are certain utilities driving the value of this L1x Coin beyond what you would normally see in the layer one. So to summarize this, if you want ownership of the app, which is the interface, will eventually be the Web3 interface to multiple chains, grab yourself a username and NFT. You can get strategic on the usernames. I see people buying these usernames that are, quite popular out there, knowing that eventually you'll be able to resell those usernames, right?
Yeah.
And there'll be domain names with multiple chains. So I already see people would add a massive influx of people getting usernames and the NFT. But if you want to own the technology, then L1x Coin. Have a piece of both, and pretty much you're covered for what the future of Layer 1x will bring.
Nice. So I will put the links in the description for the private sale. You guys heard them. It's a token with a lot of use cases, a lot of utility. There should be demand for it as long as this system continues to build, and I don't think there's any reason why they would slow down. And then I will have a link in description for the app also. Get in there, get those usernames, maybe get Target.com or Walmart or something. Be strategic with it, have fun with the app. And yeah, I just want to say thank you again for coming on the channel. Oh, and Airdrop. Do the bounties, guys. I forgot to mention, we love a good Airdrop, having fun with those. But thank you for coming on the channel, talking about Layer 1x. Maybe we can have you back again and talk about some of the progress, later on next year or something.
Love to do that, Jay. No, absolutely. Thank you for your time, and it's great to talk to your community as well.
All right. Thank you.